Ladies and gentlemen, our next performer is a good friend of mine. He's visiting us from New York. Very funny, Matt Hanley.
Great. I think both gyms are kind of my height, so I won't have to adjust this bad boy. We're even talking to it. I was in Hollywood visiting a gym, and I ran into one of those fringe conspiracy theorists. Like, this guy didn't believe that the Holocaust Museum happened. I tried arguing with him. That was a mistake. I'm like, I remember this. President Clinton did the induction ceremony, and he's like, there is no President Clinton, man. God, maybe you're onto something. I'm glad to be in this beautiful restaurant. Let's give it up for Henri. I think it's interesting that when a restaurant earns an A, when the county health inspectors are doing the inspection, you know, they're inspecting the condition of the facilities mostly, right? But not the mental mindset of the employees. I think that should at least count for something. Be like, the kitchen is spotless, but they have some violent tendencies. Let's give them a B, right? That's what a B means, maybe. Right? I had that weird thing happen to me in the bathroom, though, where you think you're a vampire for a moment. You know, because like I had my hands under the sink, ready for the water to come out, but it never came out. Means you're a vampire, right? But then I realized it was because these are traditional faucets. You need to turn the valves. And I got burned. Well, you know what happens? This invariably happens. I only have enough energy to turn on one faucet, you know, and it usually ends up being the hot one. And I think to myself, I could do two things: take corrective action, turn on the cold faucet, or do what I call beat the heat. And Jim promised me, I thought that was more like 20 seconds based on historical records before it would get really hot, and I got burned. I'm responsible for these empty tables, so I do apologize. I can't even get my friends to listen to my voice messages. Does this ever happen to you, like when the stars align and you're talking to someone on the phone, and then they say something like, hey, I saw you left a voice message. Do I have to listen to it, or has it been covered by our previous conversation? I was getting sick of that, so I started, when I left voice messages, I would read from Wikipedia. Just a random article, you know? So, when they said, do I need to listen to this? I'm like, no! Unless you want to know about Triton, the largest moon on the planet Neptune. I was lucky enough that Brian, another talented young comic, all those adjectives are, those inaccuracies are piling up. But this grade A, Brian and I took a drive here together, and I am grateful for that. But we hit a little traffic, and I think it was compounded because they had one of those signs up. It's like, accident on the Coanga. OMG, you've got to see this. Caused some slowdowns. You know what's fast though? I'll do an aside here. You used to be able to text Google. You can still do this, but you can text Google. There's a phone number. If you have you can text a question and it'll reply right back. You know, just like doing a Google search. And what I would do when I had this girlfriend was send the same question to both Google and the girlfriend and see who wrote back faster. It was usually the girlfriend. And it didn't matter what my query was. She'd be like, what is the Dodgers score? Where's the nearest hot dog? And it was always the same reply, where are you? But you see some strange stuff on the road these days. I was on the highway in one of these western states, Utah, and it was kind of neat. The highway was pink. It was like a pinkish hue. Has anyone seen such a highway? It was almost as if they left a red sweater in the wash with the with a road. But that's not the strangest thing we saw. One odd thing that happened was we picked up a hitchhiking pilgrim. An old-fashioned, the classic 17th century pilgrim. And he wasn't really hip to the modern ways, so I said, hey turkey, buckle up. And he said, it is. And, flying can be fun too. I flew once and I got into a fight with a stewardess, or a flight attendant, and she wouldn't let me keep the full can, I mean, she let me drink its contents, but then she wanted the empty. I haven't quite made it yet, The dollar store's an aspiration. I want this, it's my can, it's my 5 cents. And she's like, no, we really need it. Months later, I saw a financial report from the airline. They actually had a profit that quarter of 5 cents. I felt that I had made a difference. But I can be kind of a bad person on the airplane. I think it's because for some reason I like to take people down a notch. Like, she's just a stewardess, or no offense, she's a flight attendant doing the best she can. But I heard her say when she was getting lunch orders, she said, I have the turkey sandwich, I have a chicken Caesar, and I interrupted her and I said, you have nothing, okay? The inventory does not belong to you, it belongs to Sir Richard Branson. Ladies and gentlemen, I do care. I do care what my peers think about comedy. I want to follow trends. I'd like to be popular. So for the longest time, I would tell no jokes about Hawaii, no jokes about Fiji or the Caribbean, Caribbean. But then it turns out I was mishearing. They weren't saying that tropical jokes were lame. Stop with your jokes. So I stopped doing it. Hey, that leads to our next segue on lame jokes. These are lame jokes, as opposed to everything I've been saying so far. All right? So let's do a few of these. What did President Obama say when a member of the Fantastic Four, Marvel's Fantastic Four, what did he say when one of those members entered the room? Okay, look, here's the thing. Let me tell you about this bully I knew growing up. He's a bully from the 80s. He put himself through law school, and then he went to medical school, so he's a doctor now. He really turned his life around. He did a 360, this guy. But he still has some tendencies from the 80s, from being a bully. So he had these 3 healthy patients that came in, and what diagnosis did he give them? Well. Remember, these are lame. What did the hip manager of the hotel say to one of his clerks when Arcade Fire was fixing to leave? Hey, check out this band. That's a minute, Jim? All right, so let's close. Let's get out of this lame scene, right? You guys been patient, and I dig it. Let's do a couple of. I have this character I'm working on. He's trying to use the language of the people, the young people. He's maybe being a little too overly ironic. Like everything's ironic to this guy. So he has this thing called his catchphrase is "I like how." ... So he's like, I like how there used to be only one continent and now there's like 7.